Thank you. Senator Rosen, remotely.
Thank you, Senator Duckworth. Appreciate that. Appreciate everyone being here today to talk about this important topic. And I want to talk a little bit about military to commercial aviation pipeline, because Nevada plays a major role in national security and in the aerospace sector. We're home to Nellis Air Force Base, the Nevada Test and Training Range, Creech Air Force Base, Fallon Naval Air Station, and numerous other equities that engage in aviation. Nellis is 7 miles northeast of Las Vegas, covers more than 14,000 acres, and its ranges provide over 15,000 square miles of uninterrupted airspace for flying operations. An estimated 12,000 military and civilian personnel work at Nellis, making it one of the largest employers in southern Nevada. The Las Vegas campus of Embry-Riddle Aeronautical University also confers undergraduate and advanced degrees in professional aeronautics, space education, systems engineering, and logistics and supply chain management. So, Captain Ambrose, can you talk about the importance of the military aviation pipeline into commercial aviation jobs and the resources needed to train military pilots for open civilian aircraft positions? And are there existing federal programs we should be leveraging to strengthen the pilot workforce generally, and perhaps this pipeline specifically?
Well, thank you, Senator, for the question. Certainly, we could smooth the transition for military pilots coming to civilian aviation. There is a process, and pilots are able to work through it. I would encourage that this legislation would also encourage veterans that have served our country to also be able, that were not pilots in the military, to be able to get funding to seek getting into good aviation jobs, including pilots, technicians, what have you. But absolutely, we support the initiative, and we're happy to help.
That's a fantastic idea. And I want to build on that because in the past, ALPA has discussed it's just a high educational cost of becoming a pilot, or even some of the supporting jobs, and the burden of student loans, particularly for those who haven't served in the military. It's often really a barrier. And so do you consider this still a barrier? What are the other major barriers, Captain Ambrose, that you feel we have to attracting pilots or training new pilots? In what ways do you think we should be addressing it?
It's expensive for the civilian ranks. We've just talked about the military. Many pilots now are coming through the civilian ranks with less military pilots, so that cost is enormous. It's a burden, as has been discussed by the panel this morning. Increasing the ability for federal loans for pilots. Not only for everybody to get a more diverse workforce, allow people that traditionally wouldn't be able to get into the workforce, ability to get funding is essential. And again, we support your efforts on that front.
Thank you. And speaking of workforce, pilots can't fly without the air traffic controllers managing those runways, right? And all the other things that they look at in the skies. And I know there's been a major issue facing air traffic controllers for many years, understaffing, right? And so workforce attrition, there's lengthy training periods, there's forced early retirement, coupled with the stop and go funding we've had with sequestration. It really had a lasting negative effect in our air traffic control workforce, and really also including on hiring and retaining that talent. They perform a very highly complex, high-stress job. It requires quick decision-making, and we can't afford to go without these hardworking, well-trained, dedicated individuals. As part of the government funding bill last year, NAFTA worked with members of Congress to address this hiring shortage by reinstating the Retired Military Controller Program, and we're very proud of that. And so, Mr. Ram, can you tell us how reinstating this program is helping to alleviate the staffing shortage of air traffic controllers, and what other ways, again, you might consider that we would do to build a pipeline either from the military or otherwise to build out our civilian control towers? Mr. Ram?
Thank you, Senator. I didn't realize it was addressed to me. My focus is more on the commercial aircraft industry and the subsystem manufacturers. but I would like to get back to you after conferring with my colleagues, if that's okay.
Okay, thank you. If anyone has anything they'd like to mention about air traffic controllers, I'm glad to, well, I guess now my time's about up. We can take that off the record. I just think that it's a really important part of our workforce that we need to continue to see thrive and grow. Thank you, Mr. Chair. My time's up. Or Madam Chair, sorry, Senator Duckworth.
Not a problem.